Hello everyone, and welcome back to the layout, sort of. If you've been watching my channel long enough, you'll know that this is not the basement that my layout's been in for the past 20 years. And you're right, the reason for that is I'm moving. 20 years ago I designed the layout to be portable since I was renting my townhouse in Hilliard, and that planning has 20 years later come around to where it's a good thing I planned it that way because I'm moving, and thankfully I've brought the layout with me. It's going to be a little bit of time though, as I'll explain here in a minute, before the layout's actually up and running again. But basically what's happened was, well, 2023's basically been the year, I would say that, I would definitely call it the year that nothing has gone as planned. Basically, what's happened to prompt the move is, back in March, my mom was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically scar tissue that's on the lungs that basically spreads through the lungs, making it harder and harder for the person to breathe. Not sure exactly how she got it. I have my suspicions though that it has to do with chemicals for the place that she worked at back in the 90s, that might have left something in her lungs from when she was working with the like I said, she was working with chemicals that she would come home coughing and gagging and everything for a while afterwards. So, and then a couple years ago, she and Dad had COVID, which we think, well, I'm thinking that it might have, stirred up something in her lungs and caused us to come on all of a sudden. Anyways, this is on top of my dad having leukemia. They're not like on their deathbed or anything, but they have days where they need some assistance with doing stuff because they're not supposed to be. There's times they should be taking it easy, and if you know my parents well enough, sometimes they overdo or try to overdo. Anyways, my brother, he's lived up here all his life, and he's been helping them out with everything when needed. But the thing is, he's got a full-time job at the sheriff's office, and he's assistant chief on the volunteer fire department that he's on. So as a result, he's not always able to be able to come out to my mom and dad's house to help them out. And since I'm working from home and living over an hour away, I was living over an hour away. It's kind of hard to just drive up when you're over an hour away like that. It's about a 70-minute drive, I would say, from my place in Hilliard up here to Bucyrus. But what prompted the idea of moving back was Mom and Dad were going through their final wishes and making arrangements and everything. They've already put their house in me and my brother's names. And my brother, he's already got his place out in the country with his family. And I've been wanting to get a place of my own out in the country. And I got to thinking, make my brother an offer to basically buy his half of the house and move, when the time comes, move back here to Bucyrus. And I got to thinking, hopefully that's a few years down the road, or quite a few years hopefully down the road, before that would happen. And I thought, everyone keeps saying, looking to buy a house and stuff rather than renting. And my place in Hilliard I've been renting for, as of last month, is 21 years last month, which I'm very thankful for my landlord for letting me stay there that long. And it was only after 20 years that she upped the rent a little bit a year ago. So it's I've been very fortunate to have the place that long, and not, have a landlord that's going to say, hey, time to move, we want someone else in here. So, anyways, started looking around, started crunching some numbers, got pre-qualified for home loan actually I went through 3 banks, and then also found a realtor back here in Bucyrus who actually turned out to be, is fortunately a friend of mine from high school. If you ever are looking for a house in Bucyrus, look up Steve Garbrick. He's really good at helping you look at houses, finding issues, that kind of thing. It's really good finding someone that knew me to help find a house, because he knows about my life and stuff with the oil paintings and the layout and everything, and so he knew what kind of features and everything that I'm going to be looking for and everything. So finding someone that knows me was a big help. So anyways, looked at one property. The house was really crappy. How it's still standing, I'm not sure. None of the outlets are grounded in the house. The basement had some really spooky wiring. So passed on that. Looked at another house. It needed some work, but is within my price range. So I put a bid on that, got outbid, and basically just didn't get that one. Found this house and really liked it. The basement's not, it's more of a cellar than an actual basement, because it's basically just the utilities and foundation and everything down there. There's no real livable space or anything like that. And it's raining again. And anyways, but upstairs, first floor, you got, in addition to the living room and bigger kitchen than what I have down in Hilliard, there's the downstairs bathroom also has laundry hookup and a shower, so no more having to go up and down 2 flights of stairs to do laundry. And the bedroom, there's a first floor bedroom, which is going to be my bedroom, and then it also has a dining room. And like I said, bigger kitchen with a lot more covered space, a lot more counter space. And upstairs is the hallway. It's like a loft area. I'm turning that into a home library. Also has a upstairs bedroom, which I'm turning into my home office. And then the upstairs bathroom, which is usable. The upstairs hasn't been updated like the downstairs has, but it's livable. So I'm going to be able to fix the place up. It's a fixer-upper, basically. And if you're wondering where the trains are here, the house has a 2-car garage, which, finally I'm going to be able to park my Jeep inside with not have to clean snow off the Jeep in the wintertime, not have to keep washing bird crap off of it and everything. So for the first time in my life, I finally got a garage of my own to park my vehicle in. So I'm really happy about that. The other bay of the garage I'm using for storage space, lawnmower, trash cans, that kind of thing. So where's the layout, you're probably asking? This is actually a detached garage in the backyard of the house. The other property that I had put a bid on, it had a detached garage, but it needed a lot of work and a new roof and everything. This one has a newer roof. It's about, the outside, I think it's about, I know about going across, it's about 26 foot wide and probably almost 30, maybe a little over 30 foot long. So inside, I don't have the layout actually set up yet, but there should be enough room because all the sections are actually separated apart and everything. So, and there's more space towards that wall. There's a cabinet that's in the way right now, but I can easily move that. Actually, while so the garage is big enough for the layout on one half, and then I'll set my art studio on the other half, and it'll be a lot more space out here and flexible than what I had down in Hilliard. And because I started pulling stuff out, as you can imagine, if you've lived in one place for a while, you start packing stuff up and start pulling stuff out of storage, and you find out you have a lot more than you realize you had to pack up and everything. The layout, the corner sections, I was able to get one corner section at a time in the back of the Jeep. And then this past week, fortunately I was on vacation this week, and I rented a U-Haul trailer, one of the 6x12 trailers, for 3 days. 2 of the days I moved 5 sections of the layout at a time. Basically, first section to go in the trailer, I strapped that to the head of the trailer, and then strapped each layout section to each other, basically side by side, with a scrap styrofoam between them to cushion them, basically, and then also secured the ends to the sides of the trailer. So basically the 5 layout sections, they were strapped together, attached to the trailer, and it was basically one solid piece, so nothing moved around. And that kept everything safe, no damage whatsoever to the layout. The layout has arrived safe and sound, thankfully. You can probably imagine my anxiety on the drive up, you know, pulling that trailer and, you know, seeing it every once in a while I'd hit a bump, which I tried to choose the safest or the smoothest route to get up here, because my usual route that I take to get up here has a lot of construction going on. So anyways, basically chose the smoothest route I could, and every once in a while I see a bump, you see the trailer bounce, but no damage or anything. So anyways, there's a lot more room out here. The walls on this garage are actually already insulated, as are the door and window. It's actually pretty comfortable out here right now, even though it's only 50 degrees outside and pouring down rain. Basically what I want to do out here is finish the walls on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to do drywall or plywood or what. Basically to make it a little more homey and make it for, so I can, you know, paint the walls, hang stuff on the walls, that kind of thing. And then I want to put a ceiling in, basically insulate the ceiling and put new lighting in, get some better lighting out here. And then I'm also going to have basically get climate controlled for air conditioning in the summer, heating in the winter, to basically just keep the temperature relatively steady, basically like in my basement back in Bucyrus, or back in Hilliard. And then another thing I want to do out here too is do the lighting, so that basically you have lighting for the layout, lighting for the art studio side, so that way I can do one half or the other. Basically I have all the lights on all the time when I'm out here. And also, except for like the outlet for whatever I use for the, you know, the air conditioner heater, you know, all the other outlets I want on their own light switch, so when I leave the garage and flip off all the light switch, it kills all the power to the outlets around the walls. That way, you know, if I'm out here doing wiring and I leave a soldering iron plugged in or something like that, I go to leave, hit the ball switch, kills all the power, and eliminates any fire hazard. So, like I said, it's got a good roof on it, no leaking or anything like that. So it's the first time I've been out here since it's in the rain or anything, so it's paying close attention to that. But anyways, so basically I bid on the house is at the end of July. Well, Steve, my realtor, he put the bid in while I was going on my way back home to Hilliard. He had all the paperwork, which really surprised me with the whole process. All the paperwork except for the closing was online. so I got home, he had the paperwork for the bid for me to sign digitally, and got that submitted, and about 2 hours later he texted me and said, hey, you've got a house under contract. And I was like, well, if I got a house under contract, that means they had to accept my bid. And then I was like, they accepted my bid? So it's really shocking that, you know, hey, suddenly I've got a house. And anyways, the next day I called a loan officer at a fourth bank that I went through, and they ended up as one of the local banks here in Bucyrus. And we got the loan process started, and then in addition to that, I also qualified for the Welcome Home Grant for here in Crawford County, where in addition to, where basically if you're a first-time homeowner, you qualify for a $10,000 grant on your home. Basically, if you have to own the home for 7 years, and then after that 7 years, it's basically a loan, but they forgive the loan basically, and you don't have to worry about paying it back after 7 years. So qualified for that. So in addition to the $15,000 I put down, I got another $10,000 down. So I got $25,000 down on the house, which helped out a lot. And anyways, shortly after Labor Day, the financing and everything finally came through. The loan came through with no, we actually had to go through a second lender. The first lender, after seeing the house inspector's report, they were a little questionable about financing the house. And that's just because the house inspector, if you've ever gone through house inspection, they will nitpick every single little detail and basically make it sound like your house, no matter how good a condition it is, they're going to make it sound like it's falling apart and it should be condemned or something. Anyways, first lender, they didn't want to finance the house, so we went with a second lender, and they approved it, no problem. So we got that going, and then shortly after that, the grant, the $10,000 Welcome Home Grant, that finally came through. I was actually one of the last ones to get it, to qualify for it, because they basically, I went through Angie with First Federal at the bank that I went through, and that was on the Thursday. I got the house under contract on a Wednesday, called that Friday to called that Thursday to get the financing going. She got the paperwork in and filed. That went through on Friday morning. The deadline for the grant was 5 p.m. that Friday, so I barely just got in under the wire to get that $10,000 grant for the house. So basically got that taken care of and everything, and so the closing was a couple weeks ago. I've been I went the couple days before the closing. I excuse me, I should have brought my water out here when my throat's getting dry. Anyways, that Saturday before the closing, I came back through the house with Steve looking for any issues and everything. There was a bunch of junk that had been left out here. The previous owners, the house was basically left to an estate. The previous owner, from what I understand, went to an assisted living facility and sadly has unfortunately passed away. But there was a bunch of junk that was left out here, appliances and stuff. A lot of that got sold off at an estate sale, but there's still a bunch of stuff that's left out here. There's still some cabinets that, when I do the renovations out here, those are going to go. There's some car tires over in the one corner that I got to find someplace to get those recycled. And then there's some other cabinets and a workbench that I'd like to get rid of, but they're bolted to the wall. So, like I said, I'm going to get rid of those when I do the renovations. Anyways, did find some books. There's several boxes of books, so I picked out, I think there's like 7 of them I picked out to keep for myself. And then I ended up having to call a place down in Marion, Rick's Hauling, to come out and basically clean up and move out the rest of the stuff. Then I swept out the garage. Got that done on a week ago, this last Friday, and then started bringing up the layout this past week. And then, like I said, I had the U-Haul for 3 days, so 2 of those days was moving the layout. The third day, basically I had the last layout section, and then I also had like bookcases and other stuff that I could move myself, but were just too bulky for, or slightly too long for in the back of the Jeep. Excuse me. So, anyways, been quite busy making trips up every weekend, and as well as a couple times during the week to basically load up the Jeep and bring stuff up. It's slowly taking effect, or getting done. As you can probably imagine, though, it's been an emotional move, not just finally getting a place of my own, not having to rent, something I can literally fix up and make my own. But like I've been telling folks, you live in one place for 21 years, down in my place down in Hilliard, and it's as long as I've been in one place outside of my mom and dad's house. So making this move, it's been an emotional experience at times. You start packing stuff up, and then there's a lot of memories that have been coming back and everything from down there. Coming back up here, it's gonna be interesting because I've got a bunch of friends from high school that are looking forward to seeing me. I'm now 10 minutes from my mom and dad, so if I need to go out to their house for an emergency or anything, I'm close by. If they need the yard mowed or errands run in town, I'm right here. So anyways, yeah, it's gonna be interesting where things go. Obviously, not gonna be any new videos for a little while. I'm hoping by this coming spring to have work started out here on the garage to get this in shape. Basically, what I'm probably going to end up doing is I can temporarily park my Jeep out in the driveway, and then basically temporarily move stuff over to the office. That's why I'm not going to set the layout up right now, because until I get this place set up, I don't want to get trains running again and then have to pack it up again and move over to the other. I'm going to temporarily move the layout over to the other garage. I'm probably going to, when I get a chance, once things settle down, I'm going to come out here and temporarily get the corner sections on the attached to one layout section, so that way I can piece everything together to make sure everything's going to fit right. And then when the actual renovations start out here, I'm going to just park the Jeep outside and then move the layout temporarily over to the other garage. And anything that's left in here I can just keep covered while stuff's going on. And hopefully have a nice little space out here to run trains, do some painting. My old hide-a-bed that I've got in my living room right now, it's kind of getting worn. I was going to throw it out, but then I got to thinking, just bring it out here and have a nice place out here for my guests to sit down out here. It's nothing fancy, but it's something that they can sit on and relax, and while I'm doing my thing with trains, or anyone just wants to visit and that kind of thing. So between this and getting the house fixed up, it's going to be a fun place. It's going to be a little different having to come out from the house to basically go to another building to get to the layout. But it's only a few yards, so even in the wintertime or if it's raining, just bundle up, put a jacket on. I got umbrellas, so should be able to get out here pretty quickly, and it's gonna be a nice little place, I think. So anyways, wanted to give a little update as to what's happening. So hopefully once I get moved, I'll have some further updates and I'll be able to get a little more detail. Do an update video of how things are going out here. Maybe once I get the corner sections reattached temporarily to be able to see what's happening. Make sure I've got plenty of room. I'm pretty sure I've got plenty of room. Because like I said, there's that end section isn't even against the far wall yet, and then there's spaces between these sections too, so there's some playroom to put stuff together and to get things together. There is an overhead door, which is actually right behind the camera, for the garage, of course, because obviously this is built for vehicles, not for a model railroad. But that has made it really super easy to get the layout in here, because to get it out of the basement, I actually had to, in addition to separating each section, collecting up all the bolts that hold the layout sections together, all the connector tracks that bridge the gap between the layout sections. In addition to that, I also had to take the legs off of each section, move it outside, and then reattach the legs, except for the corner sections, to get the sections into the moving van or moving trailer. So, and then thankfully unloading the trailer, I just raised the overhead door, brought stuff straight in. So that made it really easy. Unless I'm going to move the layout over to the other garage and then back in, I'm probably not even going to open the overhead garage door at all. So, whereas it's got manual release, so if the motor or something happens to the motor, I can easily just release the door and raise it up on my own. So, but I'm excited. It's new beginnings, relearning where everything's going to be at home. Trying to, like I was telling my brother the other day, I'm still learning which light switches control what. Trying to figure out where everything's going to be going, that kind of thing. So, I've got a pretty good idea where everything's going to be going in what room and everything. But if you've ever moved, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but I'm hoping that things are going to go smoothly. I've got some friends lined up for both loading the van, moving van I'm getting in a couple weeks to load up down in Hilliard, and then got some friends and family up here who are going to help me unload up here at the house. So, new beginning. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully once I get moved and settled in, I'll have some more videos coming. So meantime, take it easy, stay safe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.